Spending less and getting more is a no-brainer. That's why serious landlords choose Inago. Forget the myth that free software means weak features. Inago delivers everything. Tenant screening, lease signing, rent collection, and more. For free. No fees, no contracts, just a full-featured, reliable platform trusted by thousands of landlords. Plus, their top-rated support team is always ready to help. Ready to streamline your property management and save money? Visit inago.com today. That's inago.com/podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rent-ish podcast. I'm Zach, and I'm here with my co-host, Patrick.
What up?
We are your hosts today, a podcast, The Rent-ish, that's what we are, and we're going to talk about rental properties, and we're hosted by two guys that work in the real estate industry and sort of know what they're talking about.
Sorta?
Sorta. Yeah.
Is that what I was supposed to say?
I think you can say whatever you want. You can comment on what we know or what we don't know. I think in the script you typically are like, but mostly we don't.
But mostly, I forgot to have the script open this time.
No, it's okay. Hey, this is the beauty of the Rent-ish podcast, Patrick, is that we can be organic, off the cuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just like that. That was an ad-lib, wasn't it?
That was
beautiful.
Straight off the dome.
Yeah, give him the Oscar. So you're going to have fun hearing us talk to experts, learning about the real estate and property management world, or just laughing at how little we know along the way. Today's episode, going to be a good one, Patrick. I got a feeling like it's going to be a good one, you know?
I got a feeling. I'm excited for this
Can
episode.
We legally play the Black Eyed Peas?
Did we just copyright or just get
banned?
Yeah,
banned on Spotify.
Yeah,
thank you guys for listening. The Rent-ish podcast. We're having a lot of fun. We're gonna have a great chock-full episode of a bunch of awesome real estate and property management stuff. We've got a Tenant Horror Story, which is our producer Mercedes' favorite segment. We're gonna all about chickens. So get ready for chicken sound effects. They're happening. And then we're also going to talk about historic properties, important properties. We're going to talk about the Space Needle. And then we might play a little bit of real estate property management games. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we have time for.
Okay.
As always, if you are listening to the show, if you love the show, if you want to hang out with us and play games with us or ask us questions, you can email questions@therentishpod.com.
Are we going to have like a listener games segment now where we play games with the listeners?
I think I just pitched the idea.
Right.
So maybe down the road we could do that. Yeah, but
that sounds fun.
Yeah, if you have an idea for a real estate or property management type game or topic, email the show. We'd love to talk about it. Patrick, I think you should lead it off.
Yeah,
you got a story for me.
Let's do it. Yeah, this is the story is called Chicken Mansion.
Okay.
And
it's like the Haunted Mansion, but foul.
Correct. Yeah, I was told to say by our producer Mousse, all right, this week's story is a clucking masterpiece. It comes from Dave, a property manager out in Pennsylvania, and let's just say things got a little foul, like spelled with a W.
Yeah,
that's the joke.
We're gonna work on getting the soundboard, but that would have been a big fat. Or like the sound when you get something wrong on Jeopardy.
Yeah. So Dave gets a call from his second floor tenants, right? And they're freaking out. There's water coming through the ceiling. That's the tenant voice, just so we have context moving forward.
Yeah, we should have stated this at the beginning of the Tenant Horror Story segment, is that Patrick will be doing the voices in his masterful way.
As the characters. So tenant, there's water coming through the ceiling. So Dave grabs his keys and heads over. When he gets there, sure enough, there's water dripping from the ceiling and spreading fast. He heads up to the third floor, knocks on the door, and the tenant opens up, looking completely unfazed. Dave glances inside and freezes. Right there, in the middle of the living room, is a blown-up swimming pool.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is no kiddie pool. It's one of those 24-inch deep, family-sized monsters.
Oh, my God.
It's filled with water, just sitting in the living room, dripping through the floor. I think I'm speaking as Dave right now, just for context.
Dave. Yeah, sure.
So I'm Dave, the property manager. Yeah. But now, it's for my kids. Dave didn't ask. He was still trying to process what he was seeing. But then things got worse. Dave glances over at the kitchen and something catches his eye. The cabinet doors are gone, like completely removed. In their place chicken wire.
I like where this is going.
Dave steps closer and realizes there are chickens. 12 live chickens living in the cabinets like it's their personal condo. Where else am I supposed to keep them? At this point, Dave's brain is fried. He mutters something about needing to write a letter and leaves. Later, he calls me, still in shock, and I ask him the most important question. Did you ask what they were feeding the chickens?
Dave, now that can't be the most important question to ask in that situation.
And yeah, that's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. All right, so dude's keeping chickens in his apartment.
Right.
And he's got a pool. That's the more impressive thing to me. Also, side note, it is one of the. Have you ever had an apartment flood or like a place where you're living where there's a water leak or a pipe burst?
Yeah, it's like the
floods?
basement of one of my
basement.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you, as a renter, there is like no worse feeling than like coming home and looking up at your ceiling and seeing one of those bubbles, like that just water is collected, and you're like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Like this thing is a ticking time bomb. Eventually, it's just gonna get water everywhere. I don't know what to do. It's just like getting lower and lower and bigger. It's terrifying.
I have not had one of those. But yeah, also with this story, the swimming pool, and he says it's for his kids. It's like, oh, okay, never mind. That's not a problem.
It's nice, think out there. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make this apartment. It's gonna be a homey place. We'll have the couch there. We'll have the bookshelf there. We'll have the swimming pool right there. Yeah. Bad idea.
I did almost have a chicken as a roommate in college.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
My friend,
continue.
My friend Emily, her family had like a farm, and my roommate Anthony was like moving out, and so I felt kind of lonely, and I'm like, I want Anthony 2.0, and I asked my friend Emily if I could borrow one of her chickens as my roommate, and she said yeah. She's like, next semester I could totally have the chicken. I would probably need to get diapers so it didn't poop everywhere. So I was gonna have a little chicken, Anthony Jr., walking around my apartment in a diaper. I was really excited to get this chicken. Second semester rolls around. I ask Emily, where's the chicken? And the chicken passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Or was butchered, something. I don't know what the situation was with the chicken. But yeah, Anthony Jr. didn't make it, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So is that still a life goal for you? You're like, one day I'm going to get that pet chicken.
Yeah, I would love to have a chicken. That semester, I ended up getting a guy named Nick. Not a chicken, just like a human. Nick was the replacement roommate. I would still love to have a chicken.
Okay.
Chicken in a diaper.
Are you gonna name the chicken Anthony?
Yeah, I mean at this point
for legacy's sake.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Patrick, thank you for reading the story first. Story comes. Can I read where we got the story? Can I tell it? Yeah. So we got it from openphone.com. So it's a blog. Apparently, this is a real true story. It just amazes me. I'm sure we're gonna keep saying this over and over again as we do these tenant segments. It's like you always think like you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a good renter. It's like. I feel there's bad renters out there, but you don't realize how bad some of them actually can be.
Right, yeah.
Until you see it in context here. But yeah, keeping chickens, pool in the living room.
Like, let's say I'm a bad renter. I can always point, hey, at least I don't have an inflatable swimming pool and chickens in the apartment. It could be worse.
It could be worse. Well, I think we've learned renter's insurance, right? What can we take away, right?
Well, let's bring this back to real property management.
Yeah, I think they want us to talk about real stuff eventually. So insure your stuff.
Renter's insurance is probably good.
Property insurance as the landlord. If this guy, think about this pool, one wrong pinprick, and then all of a sudden you've got a pool's worth of water damage inside your house. So I don't know. It's a scary situation, but also just you got to make sure that you're clear in your lease terms about raising poultry.
Yeah, yeah. There needs to be a poultry clause in every lease.
The poultry clause. I like that. Let's start that. The poultry clause. Okay, cool. Thanks, Patrick. That was a good segment. I think we're still calling it this. We're going to switch gears to Proptology, everybody. That's the segment where we talk about historic properties, properties of great significance, landmarks, buildings, whatever it is. And this week on Proptology, we are going to be talking about the Space Needle.
Yes, indeed. Have you ever been to the Space Needle?
Not. I was going to ask you the same thing. I've never even been to the Pacific Northwest at all.
I would love to go to Seattle. I've got a buddy in Seattle.
Yeah, no, it's been on my list for a long, long time. I mean, Seattle, it seems like a cool place. The Space Needle, obviously, probably one of the more iconic towers in the United States. So to describe it, it looks, and I'm not even joking with you, spacey.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
that's
when
a
you look at
great
this,
word.
does it not immediately just give you the vibe where you're like, this looks like it would be in like a Jetsons episode?
Oh, it very much. It is the future.
Yes, it's future. It's kind of got that like retro futurism kind of vibe going
like
on, which I really like.
What people in like the 60s thought the future would be.
Yep. It's an observation tower in Seattle, Washington. Of course, it's considered to be an icon of the city. The tower's saucer-shaped, quote, top house, which I didn't know that's what it was called. The top house offers visitors Seattle's only 360-degree indoor and outdoor panoramic views of downtown, Mount Rainier, Puget Sound, and the Cascades in the Olympic mountain ranges.
So the top part is called the top house.
The top house.
Is everything under the top house just like useless? Is it just like what? It's house. House and top house.
Yeah. Took you a second. No, well, it looks to me from the structure. I mean, I've never been. You've never been. But it looks to me like it's just like one long elevator shaft.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like to me.
And it's kind of got like the support beams that go down, which is cool. It almost looks like a building that like shouldn't be very sturdy.
Yeah.
But obviously,
it is. It's
solid.
Yeah.
Solid building. Patrick, what about some history? What would we talk some history?
Yeah, let's talk about some history.
So
I like history.
Edward E. Carlson, the chairman of the 1962 Seattle World Fair, had an idea for erecting a tower with a restaurant at the World's Fair after visiting the Stuttgart Tower in Germany, another building I'm not familiar with. So the World's Fair, designed for the World Fair.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I also didn't know
I read
that.
through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew the St. Louis Arch was a World Fair.
It was? Really?
Maybe I made that up. I thought it was. It was made for the St. Louis World Fair. I'm almost positive about that.
Huh.
Anyways, not to just get sidetracked, but
the one thing that I knew so when I think of World's Fair American architecture, it's funny, but like the first thing I think of is the Knoxville Sun Sphere. It was featured in a episode of The Simpsons like 25 years ago.
Oh,
but it's like
I missed that.
A totally forgotten. It's this giant ball on this tower in the middle of Knoxville. No one ever thinks about the Knoxville Sun Sphere as a World's Fair important thing or whatever. But like the World's Fair did basically have a hand in creating the Space Needle, and the Space Needle, that's a thing. That's a name. Like, you tell any American what's the Space Needle, they're probably going to at least say, oh, it's that big pointy thing in Seattle, Washington. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the World's Fair that year had a space-age theme. So, obviously, a flying saucer needed to be incorporated into the design. So, architect John Graham joined the project, bringing his expertise from designing the Northgate Mall in Seattle and incorporated that revolving restaurant feature at the very top. Early suggestions for the tower's name. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Included Space Needle.
Okay.
Obvious choice.
Yeah.
Obvious choice, number one. Star Tickler, which I...
That's an amazing name.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. And then the Top Hat. Okay. Another one.
Yeah.
And Big Skookum.
Okay.
I repeat, Big Skookum, which is like a Looney Tunes character, I think.
I like Star Tickler. I honestly think that was a blunder not choosing Star Tickler.
Yeah. Justice for Big Skookum. I'm just going to say
or Big Skookum.
Star Tickler. Have you been to the Star Tickler in Seattle, Washington? Upon completion in April 1962, it was the tallest structure west of the Mississippi River, surpassing the Kansas City Power and Light Building and Seattle's Smith Tower.
Okay.
So, held the record for a long time. Certainly not the tallest structure now, you have to imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do that one day. Rank the tallest buildings in America.
We should do that one day. That would be actually very interesting to see where they are.
All right, fun facts. It has the world's first and only revolving glass door, which is 500 feet above Seattle. Patrick, are you scared of heights? Spending less and getting more is a no-brainer. That's why serious landlords choose Inago. With features like tenant screening, lease signing, and rent collection, Inago gives you everything you need for free. No fees, no contracts, just powerful property management made simple. Visit inago.com/podcast to sign up. That's INNAGO.com/podcast.
Yeah, no. Yes, I am.
That sounded real convincing.
I am. Yeah, my legs get really shaky.
Get a little shaky.
Like I'm not opposed to going to heights, but like I definitely, get a little.
So does a 500 feet high revolving glass floor sound enticing to you at all?
I would do it. I wouldn't like it, but I would do it.
For experimental purposes.
Yes, I would definitely do it. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah. It definitely gets me a little anxious, but
yeah.
I feel like I can do it. I just need to like center myself.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, I'm ready to be on the solid floor.
Yeah.
Musei's shaking his head. He's like thumbs way down on that one. So the Space Needle was constructed in just 400 days. 400 days. So a little over a year to make the Space Needle. The iron workers who built this miracle of construction were being paid a wage of, get ready for this one, $3.92 per hour.
Oh, man.
Or $40 an hour adjusted for inflation.
See, $40 an hour for inflation is not
that checks
bad.
out.
That's crazy. It's inflated that much in the past. Wow.
A construction job for something like that, but imagine getting paid $3 a night. I know that inflation's a thing.
Yeah, right.
But imagine being that high up and you're like, I'm making $4 an hour. It was the site of a famous April Fool's prank. In 1989, a local TV station aired an April Fool's prank segment that the Space Needle had fallen over. Despite the flashing alert during the segment telling viewers it was a joke, emergency call lines were flooded with calls as the Space Needle itself received more than 700 calls.
That seems like a mean prank. That seems like a very tragic thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Whoever came up with that, I hope they got fired.
That's not a funny prank. Yeah.
No, not at all. It harbored a secret time capsule from the 80s. Staff buried the capsule in 1982 inside one of the tower's concealed steel beams on the tower's observation levels. It was later found and opened in 2017. Letters, photographs, postcards were all found inside, and a new time capsule with some of the 1982 artifacts will be opened in 2062.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
Did
you ever make a time capsule?
I didn't, but I've always wanted to find a time capsule. I just don't know where to look. Yeah.
You gotta go geocaching.
Yeah, I guess so. Have you made a time capsule?
I did. I remember making a time capsule in the first grade.
Okay.
Buried it in a shoebox. That thing is probably disintegrated at this point. I don't even remember what was in there. It used to have a mysterious mascot. So we got a couple more facts here.
Okay.
In 1997, a yellow personified Space Needle mascot named Sneedle was created to celebrate the tower's 35th anniversary. It was unfortunately very short-lived. We got a photo of the Sneedle. There you go.
Oh, that's kind of fun, actually.
It's cute. It looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, it does look like a Muppet.
Hi-ho. Yeah, it's cute. Sneedle, it sounds like a Pokemon. I'm pretty sure there is a Sneedle Pokemon, too, if I'm not mistaken. So we got some movie facts here.
Okay.
In the Elvis Presley movie, it happened at the World's Fair in 1963. This sounds like a movie that maybe you've seen.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Is that the most famous movie that this needle is featured in? That can't be possible.
According to the script writers.
We
got that here.
What about iCarly?
I don't.
You know that show?
You got to clap from the producers over there.
Yeah, they know what's up. Have you never seen iCarly?
Is that? Well, I know iCarly.
It's a Nickelodeon
Miranda
show.
Cosgrove, right?
Yeah. No, that whole thing takes place in Seattle. Obviously, it's filmed in some studio in Hollywood, but there's shots of Seattle where they live.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got to say, I don't appreciate you and everything you stand for. Because how in the wide world of sports is iCarly the first thing you think of over Frasier?
I haven't seen Frasier.
You've never seen Frasier?
I've never seen Frasier, no. Is that
what?
Yeah, that's that old sitcom, right?
This is the oldest I've ever felt. I'm talking. Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right over my head. No. But you don't know iCarly?
Well, but I know the show. I just never watched the show. Frasier is it's a who am I thinking of? Who's the actor? He played the Beast in X-Men.
Oh, Nicholas Holt.
No, the old Beast. Kelsey Grammer. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Kelsey Grammer was in Cheers, and then you've seen Cheers.
I've heard of Cheers. I've never seen it.
My God.
I know what it is, the bar sitcom.
It's like the bar.
It's the bar sitcom.
Yeah, well, okay, so a very popular character on that show, Frasier, played by Kelsey Grammer, spun off a show where he's a radio DJ in Seattle, lives with his dad, his brother Niles. Excellent sitcom.
What's the spin-off?
Is that Wings?
Wings. I've seen an episode of that one. Yeah.
We're getting a lot of flat hand motions and excitement from the producer guy there.
Mm.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's funny, though. It's like there's a couple big things. Like I called out Frasier, iCarly. You said iCarly. There's the Elvis movie here. But it's like it's not that prominently used in film
I feel
or
like just
TV.
like Seattle, though, is not one of those cities. Like
Yeah.
it seems like everybody in the U.S., according to Hollywood, lives in either New York or L.A.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, it's like very rarely do you get stuff shot. Location, I can't even think of like the most recent movie that I saw that the location took place in Seattle.
Right,
So,
yeah, same.
underutilized location, but I've heard it's beautiful. Obviously, the nature of Seattle is something to go for. Like I have friends that go out there that live out there that like love skiing and hiking in the mountains, and the lake is the ocean. It's like you got so much beautiful stuff around there. It's like
need to get
you know,
a trip out there.
it's a prime spot. I feel like more fiction writers should utilize Seattle as
I
a
agree.
location. But yeah, that's the Space Needle. Were there any fun facts or trivia that we missed out on, or anything cool that you want to shout out about the Space Needle? Email questions at therentishpod.com. Okay, Patrick, so we're going to go back to the fun and games section of the show. We've been learning a lot recently, but now I think it's time for us to play a little game. How does that sound?
Yay! I love games.
Yeah, we're going to play so many fun real estate and property management games along the way of the journey of the Rent-ish podcast. And today, we have a very special guest joining us for our fun and games segment here, Mary Ragono. She's a senior marketing program manager at Inago. Mary, thank you for coming onto the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of where you came from? What's your story?
Sure. So yeah, I've got, over 10. I think we're coming up on 15 years of experience. I graduated with an MBA from Chicago Booth, but I've worked at a number of different tech companies, including Inago property management software. And then in addition to that, I've actually been investing in real estate for the last 5 or so years, just trying to kind of slowly build a portfolio between Chicago and Cincinnati. And yeah, it's been a wild ride and really enjoying it and learning a lot as I go.
Awesome. Well, you're probably smarter than both Patrick and I combined in this little podcast studio. So
Times 10.
There's some multiplication in there. But you have a game for us to play. Is that right?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for it?
Yeah,
As ready as
what's
we'll
the
ever be,
game?
I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, have you guys ever played the game 20 Questions?
Of course.
Yes.
This was a game that I used to play a lot when I was a kid in car rides specifically. You know, pick something out the window and then try to guess what it was. This
Top-tier
one will
travel
not
game.
be an out the window one, but
Okay.
I have a term here that I am thinking of, and I'm going to let you guys ask me a bunch of questions to try to figure out what this term is, and then let's hope that you guys are able to, through your questioning and your sleuthing, able to eventually get to what the real estate term is.
Awesome. Are you ready for the
I'm
task,
ready.
Pat?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you keep track on your fingers?
Yeah,
How good
I
are you
will
with
keep
being
track.
able to keep track?
I can count to
We
20.
won't be
okay?
strict on the 20 questions.
Okay.
Okay, cool. How should we start? Patrick, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Who wants to reveal?
You go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Because
Okay.
I've got the task of counting.
Okay, so does it have to do with documentation?
It does, yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Good first question.
Okay, we better just quit here because that's as good as we're going to get. That's our first yes.
Okay, I got a question. Is it related to specifically to rental properties?
It is not. No.
Okay.
Okay, so
You
non-rental
said
property
specifically to rental properties. No,
Yeah,
it's not specific.
It can be for all
Oh,
properties,
broad.
essentially.
Okay.
Correct.
Got it. Is it something the tenant interacts directly with?
No, it is not.
That would be no, because it's not like specific to rental. You know what I mean?
But rentals could be more than tenants rentals.
okay.
It couldn't just be right?
Okay. That's 3.
We're making great progress.
Okay. Does it have to do with the purchasing of a property?
Yes, it does.
Does it cost money to acquire this document?
Yes.
It costs
got
money.
it. All right.
Is it? Well, it's related to documentation. Is it for sure a document?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is that
We
a
didn't
question?
really narrow down the fact that
Is
it's a
okay?
document.
Yeah. Let me. Is the term? Is it the name of a document?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that clears that up.
That clears that up.
So-
Now we just got to think about documents.
Yeah, and we have 14. Yeah, like I bet you we don't even know 14 documents.
I was gonna say,
So-
yeah. Ooh, okay.
I got one.
Yeah, go for it, Patrick.
Does the document require signatures from multiple parties?
Yes, it does.
I don't really know how that helped us, but I just got excited because
Hey, we got to do everything we can to try our best here. Oh boy. Okay, is it required in selling a property?
Yes, it is.
So buying and selling, and we have 12 questions left.
Okay. We're a little too early to ask what it rhymes with.
Does the document have to do with money?
No. No.
So it doesn't have to do with like buying or selling, like specifically the money part.
It's no. If you're thinking of like the transaction or like the receipt,
Not like that. Okay.
Does it have anything to do with taxes?
so
Like property taxes?
No. No.
Okay.
It's hard.
Oh,
Good
I'm glad you
guys.
think it's hard too, because we're sweating over here.
Does it have to do with like legal stuff?
Yes.
If there's a sign, it totally does. That was a stupid question. All right.
The Rentish podcast, quote, legal stuff.
All right. Well, that was 11. I think that was 11 questions. That we
Yeah,
asked.
we're got to rattle through some. Does it include anything about the property, like restrictions or conditions about the property?
Yes.
Is it about ownership of the property?
Yes, it is.
Like a deed? I mean, is that too basic? Oh, well, I'm asking. Sorry, Patrick. Is it like? I'm thinking. I'm just like. Sorry, we got the brain melting pot here.
All right.
Okay.
So we got 7 questions left. So, sorry, what were you saying?
I was like, so like a deed. Like I was like,
Yeah.
like you would acquire a deed or whatever for a property. That's how you would claim the ownership of
Right.
it. You would also sell that deed.
Ah.
So
like, is it a deed?
I'm thinking like something like that.
Like, Like, how do we like? Is it a deed? Is that should it?
Is it a
Should
deed?
that be
Can
the
we
question?
ask? Is it a deed?
Yeah,
I mean, like
you
I
should
don't know.
ask that.
Should I ask
Yeah.
that? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Is it a deed?
It is a deed.
Oh, are you serious?
Wow.
We are.
That was crazy impressive.
Mary, does this
It was
qualify
very
us for our
impressive.
own MBA?
I think it does. I think you've just graduated from the school of real estate.
Okay,
Of real
awesome. We
estate
got it. So,
terms.
give us a little bit of education from someone with a more experienced background. What do you got to tell us about deeds and what they mean and what they do?
Yeah, so a deed is really just, I mean, a lot of the questions that you ask kind of lead towards what a deed is. So it is a legal document that's going to prove ownership of a property. Most typically, we talk about it within real estate. The deed is necessary for when you are buying and selling. So it transfers ownership. It also is helpful because it tells you like the property lines. It gives you information about what's actually owned within the property. And then also there's different types of deeds out there. I won't go into a ton of detail on all of the different nuances, but the like ownership timeline is affected by the different types of deeds that there are. So again, just more information that can influence like what your ownership looks like and what types of like liabilities you might have on the property itself. Again, it's important for ownership, but then, you know, as a result of kind of defining the property lines, it can also be used for tax purposes and all sorts of other good stuff. So deed is a very, very important legal document. If you have one, don't lose it.
Okay.
And
I was when I asked if it was a deed. That was the first thing we asked about. And the immediate thing, Patrick, if you're reading my mind, see how connected we are as podcasters.
Okay.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of deed? Monopoly is the answer.
I was not going to say that. I was going to say Mr. Deeds.
Oh,
like, goes
Mr.
to
Deeds,
town or
that's a good one
whatever.
too. No, I think that's probably got to be my first exposure to it as a kid. Is like title deeds and Monopoly because you can acquire those for. Like,
is that what those are
properties.
called in Monopoly?
I think
like
so,
when you own like the little card with the color and it tells you how much like rent is and stuff.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Mary, is a deed? Is it like a multi-page document? I don't know. Like, what does a deed actually like look like document-wise?
it can be. It just depends on, you know, all the different factors that are included in it. But it's really just a definition of what what it does is, again, because it's legally binding, it just details out everything that you own by purchasing that property, or everything that you are giving up by selling that property.
So it sounds like something that would be a multi-page thing, Patrick.
Yeah,
I think maybe don't accept the deed if it's written on a Post-it
Yeah,
note.
that's
Maybe just push that one out.
And
Okay,
as you guys asked in the questions, it is something that you have to sign. Often it's notarized as well. Because again, this is a really important piece of, you don't want this to just be something where, it's on a Post-it note and somebody says, oh, you now own this property. And then all of a sudden you got a bunch of legal trouble because someone else says, wait a second, that's not real. So this is a very important document. It's notarized. It's recorded in public records. This is not something that, you just sort of write down in pen and paper.
All right, cool. Well, we learned a little bit today. That was a fun game. Mary, thank you again for coming on the show. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. All right, Patrick. That was quite the episode, if I do say so myself, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for the insightful feedback and commentary.
It was fun time. Talked about, what did we talk about again?
Seattle. We talked about the Space Needle in Seattle. We did a Proptology on the Space Needle. We also talked about the Chicken House.
Chicken House.
Not as many chicken sound effects from the two of us as I thought. When we were workshopping this episode, it was just like nothing but bukkaks and bukkars.
We'll add them in post.
Yeah, in post, right, exactly. And then we also had Mary Ragono back on to play some games, and we crushed it, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, or it was at least an A for effort.
Yeah.
So, well, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Rentish podcast. One more thing we have to touch on during the Space Needle segment. Patrick did get really upset afterwards that he forgot to bring up Sleepless in Seattle, his favorite movie.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I hate that movie. When we were thinking, I'm upset for myself for coming up with iCarly and not one of the worst movies of all time. Like, I truly hate Sleepless in Seattle. And so I'm glad thank you for circling back to that, Zach. What an atrocity of a movie.
Well, I wanted you to have your 1 second of,
thank you.
Thank you. Just get that off your chest.
Yeah.
Expel those
Blood's
demons.
boiling now.
Well, on that note, email questions at therentishpod.com. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the show. Patrick, thank you for co-hosting along with me.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, listeners. If managing property finances feels like a full-time job, it's time to check out Ledger.ai. Ledger.ai makes property accounting simple by automating your finances, tracking expenses, and keeping you organized all without the stress. It's like having an accounting pro in your corner so you can focus on growing your portfolio. Visit ledger.ai/podcast today and let them handle the heavy lifting. That's ledgre.ai/podcast.